be in Richardson at 10:45. So unfortunately, I have to let you guys out early again today. I realize I'm a problem for most of you. I'm sorry. We can meet tomorrow if you want to come in for those extra like 20 minutes or so. Just give me a call. Let me know what time works for you. I would be happy to be here at 6 a.m. So that's what you guys need. Okay. So, all right, just roll again real quick. Make sure everyone's here. Make sure I have some understanding of the right people. Right here. This. Here. Taylor. Okay. Chris Herman. Adam. Bird. Ivy. Vera. Is that right? It's Becky. I promise. See, why can't we do like Brady name? If your last name is May, that's it. Cooter. Sam McDaniel. Alex Munoz. Jeff. Kim's here. Doug is here. William. Bill. Stone. Travis. Adrian. Hunter. Courtney. Bobby. Zach Williams. Keith. Okay. No one's name I didn't call? Call. Okay. What I have up here that is marginally seeable is these are the headlines on USA Today. And one thing, if you'll notice, if you look at some of these, you'll see that almost all of these have in some way something to do with statistics. 7 years, one of the headlines here, 7 years later, was the Iraq War worth it? Obviously a lot of statistics in that report. More minority children attending kindergarten. Again, more statistics involved in identifying how many kids there are attending kindergarten, and then also their racial makeup. Back to school deals remain. Again, there's statistics involved in there that people are going out and identifying how much things are costing. HP raises the stakes in the bidding war for a new company that they're trying to purchase. A lot of statistics involved in there. I don't know how much about Obama's vacation deals with statistics, but I'm sure there's something in there that you can find. The key thing is that statistics is everywhere, and we use it all the time. Even a little blurb up here in the corner, 5 years later, 5 years later, information about Hurricane Katrina. So statistics are everywhere. We're bombarded with this stuff every day. The idea behind this class is to make sure that you're good consumers of that data. Can you understand the information that they present in these articles? Can you critically look at it and say, yeah, I believe what the conclusions they're drawing are supported by the data that they have? Maybe as you look through some of these articles, you can even say, they're misusing what they're doing there. What they're doing there is not supported by the data they've collected. Okay? That's what we're trying to get at in this course, is how do you effectively look at statistics that are presented to you and think about them critically, analyze them, see whether or not they are telling the story that people are indicating they're telling. Okay. All right, so let's get into a little bit more. last time a little bit about statistics being sort of this study of data. And what we want to do is identify the different parts of statistics. There are lots of different parts of statistics. We'll talk about them as we progress through the class. Today what I want to do is I want to start with sort of an example and ask you the question of what kind of thing you can do with this. So, question that has been in and out of the news for years is, does a low-carb diet lead to significant weight loss? All right, so here's a question, something that we would like to, come up with a reasonable answer to. How would we go about answering a question like this? What could we do that would lead us to some sort of conclusions about whether or not a low-carb diet leads to significant weight loss? What could we do?
Look at carbs function in the body.
Okay, one thing we can do is we can approach it from a scientific standpoint and identify what do carbohydrates do in the body. As the body metabolizes carbohydrates, what happens to them in the body? Okay? That's something that on the chemical level or in a chemistry class we could go through and we could test. Okay? From a more social standpoint, from a non-experiment, go in and look at what carbs' effect on the body is, how else could we answer this question without having to go into the chemistry lab?
Test group.
Test group. So get a collection of people together. Okay? So get some dieters to observe. Okay.
You'd have to have more just people on the diet though.
Okay, why is that?
You gotta have a control group
And why do we need a control group?
to find out what the norm is.
Okay,
You gotta have a baseline to start your.
okay.
You gotta have something to test it against, I guess.
Okay. What else could we do? So after we have these dieters and non-dieters, what do we do then?
Well, I mean, you can look at like different lifestyles and see how like those might affect
Okay, so we can observe some of their social
social behaviors.
behaviors. So gather some info on their social characteristics. What else? Ultimately, our question here is whether or not we get significant weight loss on these low-carb diets.
You have to break the dieting group down into at least two different parts. You gotta have some that are on low carb diets and some that are just eating whatever they want or
Okay?
high
So-
carb.
We can, within the collection of our data, right, within the collection of our people to observe, we can split them into multiple groups, right? We split them into multiple groups, and we look at different sort of treatments that are applied to each of those different groups, right? Then what do? We've done all this stuff. We've implemented treatments to people. We've observed their social characteristics. Ultimately, we want to know, do they have significant weight loss? So,
Do it 3 months. Try it.
okay. So,
And keep on logging.
You have to weigh
in,
them.
like every week or every 2 days or something.
Okay.
And just look on charts. You know what I mean?
so what we want to do is we want to collect some data. Collect data from our subjects, our people who are dieting or not dieting and how they're dieting. We want to collect data on their weight on a regular basis. Okay? We want to collect data that helps us answer the questions that we're leading to. Okay? Now, all of these other parts are important as well. The social characteristics of the subjects are obviously going to have some effect on their weight loss. Okay? The fact that we have multiple groups of different kind of dieters and non